Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Extravaganza with Mitch on the Captain Lou Sports Network. How are you this evening? We have some breaking news that I'll get to in a minute. It's breaking football news. Hope you have, if you've weathered some storms this past week. Congratulations for getting through it. We are lucky here in Wilmington, North Carolina. It is currently, and it has been, raining. So the snow that we didn't want to really get, never want to get, and when we leave Pennsylvania to get out of the freaking snow, and we end up with 5 inches of snow. But when I wake up tomorrow morning, it's all gone. So thank goodness for that. Temperature next week is into the upper 50s and 60s. So excuse me. Welcome for that. Welcome to that weather. Breaking news from Adam Schefter. Jeff Stoutland, the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line coach, is calling it quits. It doesn't say what he's doing. It just says it's time for him to go. So that's going to be interesting, and maybe Ray and I will talk about that in a little bit before we get to the Philly stuff. But some more changes for the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for them going forward. We'll welcome our guest, Ray, in a little bit. Like I said, we're going to be talking Phillies. I don't think he has the same feeling that I do about the Phillies, but we'll debate that and we'll talk about that. I see him off stage. He's laughing and shaking his head, so I think I am right on that. We lost a couple of baseball players just today. One, Mickey Lolich, MVP of the 1968 World Series. Those of us who are old enough to be able to watch him pitch, he was great. That Tigers team of 1968 was something to behold, and he and Denny McLain, who is the last pitcher. I'm going to go out on a limb here. No one else is winning 30 games in baseball unless things drastically change. The last one to get 30 wins as a pitcher in Major League Baseball. Made a great duo. He passed away, and then Negro Leagues player Ron Teasley. Played for many years in the Negro Leagues. God bless him. He lived to the age of 99, passed away yesterday. I believe I had the privilege of talking to him on this podcast several years ago. So my condolences and prayers go out to hit the Teasley family as I do the Lolich family. Though I'm not a huge NBA guy, like maybe that much of an NBA guy, a little bit more of a NHL guy. Lots of trades going down. I know the Sixers traded Jared McCain today. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. I believe they're getting some good draft picks for him. So Sixers, we'll see what happens with them going forward. Again, lots of trades in the NHL also. Artemi Panarin going to I believe it is the Kings from the Rangers. That's my team, the Rangers. I don't follow them that closely anymore, but I'm still a Ranger fan, and he's gone. So, again, continue to rebuild that team. And I think that's it for some basic information. Oh, no. I forgot. What am I forgetting? What's happening on Sunday, for crying out loud? We got the Seattle Seahawks playing the New England Patriots. I think it's called the big game. I think it's called the Super Bowl, even though I don't think people are allowed to, quote, say it because it's trademarked, but the big game. Two good defenses. Seattle's is the best in the league, with an experienced quarterback who has blossomed as a 37-year-old this year. Sam Darnold versus second-year player out of North Carolina, the state of North Carolina, Drake May. My prediction. Here's some. The one matchup I was looking online and getting some information. The biggest matchup to look at isn't Darnold versus May, so it's not. It's Seattle wide receiver in Jigba versus cornerback Christian Gonzalez um, for the Patriots. So Jigba had a ton of catches, a lot of yards, really good. Um, Gonzalez is a really good cornerback. So we'll see what happens there, see how they end up playing in Jigba. So that'll be fun to watch. And according to Next Gen Stats, this is about the quarterback, Sam Darnold, 7.2% turnover worthy play rate when pressured. That's the worst in the NFL. So ideally, we're going to see hopefully some pressure from the Patriots to put on Darnold because he doesn't necessarily throw the ball away. I was reading the article today, and it said he should just go take a sack, or I would say throw the damn ball away. You're getting pressured, just throw it away. He is a turnover, quote, machine, so to speak, and he's got to control himself in that respect for the game on Sunday. I think the over-under is 45. I think I saw that. The Seahawks are favored by 4.5. So my prediction, and I think a lot of people are thinking this, it should be a defensive game. And my prediction is Seattle 20, New England 13. Now, could the Eagles have gotten there? If they had a better offense all year, they had a really good defense, they could have been in there. But that's, I guess, neither here nor there right now. So that's coming up. It's going to be fun. The Olympics are coming up. I like watching the Olympics. So there's never a dull moment in sports. Lou and I always say there's never a dull moment. There's never a dull day in sports. There's always something going on. Let's see. Today's the 4th. 7 days, still pitchers and catchers. We're going to get to see some things that Phillies fans are going to get to see some things that we're looking forward to. Ray and I will get into that in just a minute. Running it back. Okay. A lot of Phillies fans. I would say, and Ray, when he comes on, will help me with this percentage. I think I'm guessing based on Twitter, and that's all I can go on because I live in North Carolina. I read a little bit of the Philly reporters' comments and takes, and I watched the Philly show with Ruben Amaro and Jim Salisbury and Todd Zalecki. 80 to 85% negativity on the Phillies running it back. I am not. I am the 15%. And you know what? Let me bring Ray on now because I want to see what he thinks about my explanations. Ray, how are you, sir?
Doing good, Mitch. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. Ray, you were former sports director. Is that right? There was a WCNJ. Is that what it was?
WNJC. It was out of Southern New Jersey.
Okay. And how long did you do that?
I was at the station. I pretty much missed all the Eagles Super Bowls. Started in 2005 after the Patriots Super Bowl, and then the run ended in 2017, just prior to the Eagles championship season. So
you could have had a lot of fun with that on the radio, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's amazing that you were talking about the Super Bowl. And I was saying this earlier today. I can't remember a Super Bowl week with less juice.
I read that on your Twitter. Yeah.
It's not, I would say no one cares about it, but last year I made the analogy that Eagles and Chiefs, that was a heavyweight fight. That was Ali Frazier. This seems like the fight that took place after Rocky beat Spider Rico in the church basement. There's really no juice. Adam Schefter's breaking hockey trades today instead of talking football. Everyone's just ready for the draft, I think.
I guess, yeah. I mean, listen, as a football fan, our team isn't in it, but the season's been very interesting. I love the season because really almost every week any team could win. So it was very interesting to see how this all played out. And I watch football. I mean, I'm 70 and I'm pretty much a lot older than you. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know how old you
A
are, but
little bit,
yeah.
not a lot. I can't say a lot anymore. So
But you look. Hey, if it's not a lot, you look pretty freaking good. I got to tell
thank
you.
you.
But I like it. I mean, to me, Super Bowl is fun. It's an event. It's more of like for us, it's a social event. We're gonna have a party. We never really used to do that a lot, but and I'm looking forward to some good football. I like the Drake May, the young quarterback, going up against the 37-year-old prodigy, old prodigy, Sam Darnold. What's he done this year? I
I
like
just
that storyline.
love watching the reaction of the Jet fans. That is the best part. That's why
Yeah,
I'm rooting for Seattle. Also, because how can you root for New England? But
yeah,
besides that, to see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl, because you know the New York Jet fans will react very calmly and rationally about that.
yeah. It's so funny. My 1 year as a Jet. Actually, I grew up in New Jersey, and I was there for the 69-70 season. So I can't complain about not having any championships. The Knicks won that year. I was a basketball fan with the Knicks. The Jets won the Super Bowl with Joe Willie, and my Mets won. I was a Met fan back then. But it seems like ever since that year, they have the poor Jets, man. They're in a what is it, 1970 to 2026? That's a 56-year slump. It's terrible. I don't know how you get it. I mean, I don't know
Could
what's
be
going on.
worse. Cleveland has it worse. So
True. You're right. I mean, you're
yeah.
right. So we're lucky in a sense that if you can look at the overall picture, though, as Philly fans, we're greedy. I mean, I think every team's fans, when they win a game, when they win a championship, they're greedy. And you have teams that can play well, they're greedy. That's why we're so aggravated with the Eagles, the way they played this year, because there is so much talent in the team, and in my opinion, Nick didn't pull the trigger like he should have after the fifth or sixth week and get Patullo out of there. I mean, that's just
I agree
again
with you
my opinion,
100%
right?
on that. And
Just
like you had said earlier, that this year had so mumuch parity, you didn't know who was the best team week in, week out. And you would think that the Eagles could come in and run the table against a league that didn't have that dominant team. But we were one of the mediocre. So
I know it's crazy and frustrating. As it is, segue to the Phillies. So here's my thing, and I know people, like I said, that we've heard running it back for months. I look at the infield. To me, it's solid. The question marks are obviously Adolis Garcia. Is he going to come back? Does he have the potential? Yes. Justin Crawford in center field. Let the young kid play. He had dominant, terrific numbers in AAA, all his minor leagues. He's great defense. Let's see if he can improve his offense. Left field, listening to Jim Salisbury talk about statistics with with Marsh and Stott. Their second half of last year's were really good. Stott figured something out. Marsh had a great second half. Can he continue that? Otto Kemp, I don't know. Right, that's the only I don't know. But the rest of that starting lineup, whatever they're going to be positioned, I'm okay with. You got Schwarber and you got JT. You needed those guys. Here's my bitch, and this is what I think people are overreacting to. They're going to win 90 plus games. Now Wheeler, yes, it's going to be. That's the other weakness. The bullpen, I think, got a little bit better. We don't know when Wheeler's coming back. If he only misses a month, we're good. He comes back at the beginning of May, we're going to be fine. And pitches the way he's supposed to. Number 4 and 5 starters, again, yes, somebody with a weakness. I do not like Aaron Nola. I think he's a head case. And the head cases come in the postseason. They put, I believe, this is my opinion, when you put pressure on yourself in any circumstance in life, when you get to that penultimate spot, to get to that certain spot, and you feel that pressure, you're not going to perform. You put too much pressure on yourself. Instead of taking it day by day and pitch by pitch, I believe that team at bat, I got to get a hit. I got to drive this in. Well, you can't hit that way. You cannot do it. Somebody has got to get into their thick skulls in the postseason. Relax. Just relax. Just take it pitch by pitch. We know what they can do in the. That's what's so frustrating for us. These last three postseasons, they don't hit.
It was not only they didn't hit, but it seemed that they just had trouble making basic contact. There were so many strikeouts, not putting the ball in play. And I was part of the contingent that was anti-run it back. And I do think in a lot of ways they are running it back. Adolis Garcia is different in right field. He's going to give you some improvements over Nick Castellanos. Obviously, he's a much better defensive right fielder than Castellanos. He's going to be a better guy in the clubhouse from all we've heard about him. He seems like a really good guy. Teammates have always liked him. And we know Castellanos, he wasn't maybe the most popular guy in the clubhouse. Offensively, I don't know if we're going to see too much of a difference. And throughout the rest of this team, like you said, the infield is good. It would have been a lot better with Bo Bichette. But this is an outfield that ESPN has rated as the worst in Major League Baseball. I would have liked to have seen Harrison Bader come back. Yep. I'm not sure that Crawford is the center fielder long term. I look at him maybe as more like a Brandon Marsh. He can play center field, but he's not a center fielder, better suited for left field. Whereas Harrison Bader is someone, besides the energy and the juice that he brings, but he's also a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. I would have brought him back. Would he have been the right-handed protection behind Harper that they're lacking? No, but they don't have that, and there's a lot of other reasons why they haven't been able to turn the roster over the way they've needed to. But it seemed that starting from that Arizona series and then into the Mets series last year with the Dodgers series, it was Groundhog Day over and over again. I looked at it as saying maybe this group, that's as far as they could go. It's time to really start infusing some new blood in there, even if it was something like bringing Harrison Bader back, putting Crawford in left, then trading Brandon Marsh. Maybe now you could package Marsh and Bohm and see if you could bring in somebody better for the infield. And you're moving the parts around that way, maybe getting a little bit younger, maybe going for a different style hitter. A guy that I always wanted the Phillies to bring in, I don't know where they would play him, would be like a Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
Someone who makes contact. He's the best contact hitter we've seen since Tony Gwynn. And when you look at the Phillies every October, it's swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss. You get somebody in there with those kind of bat the ball skills, it changes the complexion of a lineup.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been yes, contact hitter. It's so funny. He's on his third team in 3 years now, which to me is nuts, right? With the way he hits the ball.
Actually, when you think about it, 4 because he went from Minnesota to the Marlins to the Padres, now the Giants. Yep. And sometimes you look at it that way. Is this guy like a Dave Kingman? Nobody likes him, so we're going to trade him every year.
Yeah.
But then again, he was on the Marlins. They trade everybody. I mean, JT Realmuto gets traded. Jesus Luzardo got traded here. Is it because they're bad players? No, it's because they don't want to pay anybody more than $7 an hour down there.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. And that's something I want to go over with you and with some folks. I got it here. So we're gonna one other thing that I've always been complaining about, and a lot of us are, this chase rate on this team. Bryce Harper was the worst, 32%. And you had JT, and then you had who was it? I forget who it was next. But those two guys have got and you know, I was ready to go back at Jim Salisbury and said he on the Philly show 2 episodes ago, he says, you know, Bryce Harper knows the strike zone. Not last year. Not last year.
Yeah, but it's a point to the contrary of that.
I mean, come on, Jim, you watched him. He's got a 32% chase rate. He's chasing everything. He's got to find, again, pressure. Is he dealing with the pressure? I don't know. But
If they would have a right-handed bat behind him to protect him, somebody not Alec Bohm. Look,
right,
Alec Bohm is a good hitter. Okay, people I think sometimes in this town try to make him out like he's the second coming of Steve Jeltz offensively. He's a
correct.
decent hitter, but he's not a cleanup hitter. He's
No,
nowhere
he's
close
not.
to a cleanup hitter. Is that his fault? No, it's not Alec Bohm's fault. It's the Phillies' fault for not getting anybody else
Right.
and having to put the square peg in the round hole. If they
You
had
put
someone behind Harper, maybe he doesn't play hero ball.
the one of the things they brought up on that Philly show was they went over the lineup, and could they go right, left, right, left, right, left? Um, but one of the thoughts was, you put, and again, I don't like, I mean, has baseball changed that much that you don't put your biggest power hitter at number 4? Put Schwarber. I mean, I don't mind having Harper and Schwarber going 3 and 4. I mean, so you go lefty, lefty. Schwarber is as good as a righty hitting lefties. I mean, it's just why can't you do that? I don't understand why you can't do that.
Because you have some guys, they went to Harvard, they went to Yale, or wherever they went, but they've never stepped foot on a baseball field before, and they're the ones setting these lineups. And I want baseball to get back to baseball men making the baseball decisions. If you went to Harvard or Yale, that's nice. Go sit in an accounting office or do something like that. But I don't want you anywhere near the team, the manager, or the coaches. Let baseball men make those decisions.
Listen, I agree totally. And here's another question I had for you, and this is what I think is going to help our manager, because I am not a Rob Thompson fan at all, and I was hoping they would find some new blood. Supposedly the players like him. I talked to Greg Murphy last year. The players love him. Don Mattingly as the bench coach. I think that is going to be something that you won't read anywhere unless somebody wants to report on it. But I think Don Mattingly's baseball brain is going to help Rob Thompson make some decisions and make him for the better. Any thoughts on that?
Don Mattingly obviously knows the game of baseball inside and out. And in the dugout, I think he will be an asset to Rob Thompson. Where I do have concerns about Don Mattingly is that his son is the general manager. Now, obviously, everyone is going to say, oh, that doesn't matter. Everything's on the level. But behind the scenes, are there players going to be, a little hesitant to talk to each other or talk to other coaches in the clubhouse because you have somebody there who is always in constant communication with the front office, someone who is having Thanksgiving dinner at the GM's house. And, back when I was in radio, I covered the Flyers and during the Ron Hextall era, and we remember how Gord Murphy was the quote-unquote rat. He was the assistant coach that was ratting people out and calling Hextall up in the front office, and they were just teammates. They weren't father and son. Yeah. So that's something in the back of my mind that I worry about. Other than that, how can you not like to have Don Mattingly as part of your staff?
I know. I think it's going to help. I really do. I'm just going to let people know, and you can, Ray, if you want to stay on for my special announcement, if you want, about who's coming on.
Okay.
On February 25th. Stay tuned. Get people here to watch, because I'm going to be giving some clues first, and then we'll see if people can guess who my guest is going to be on this podcast February 25th. Okay, interesting piece of information about the potential lockout and how people spend money. Okay, so Ben Verlander put this out the same day, and I have to still get my interview with Jason Stark edited. And Jason mentioned this, and then I referred to this. Jason Stark said, Mitch, it's not, and it was funny because he was on the Fanatic 3 days after the Fanatic, he came on I interviewed him, and he had said on that interview with the Fanatic that team execs do not like the Dodgers and what they did with Kyle Tucker. So I asked him, I said, I heard you on the Fanatic. Can you explain in detail what you said? From what I heard is a lot of teams don't like what the Dodgers did. He goes, Mitch, every team not named the Dodgers doesn't like what they did. Okay. But it's not about what they're paying. He said it's about revenue. It's about the revenue and how they spend it. So here's a sheet that Ben Verlander put out. If you go on his Twitter feed, it's on there. You have to scroll down and find it. He's listing the amount of revenue that teams bring in, their payroll plus the tax, and their and the luxury tax, and their payroll as compared to their revenue. So the Dodgers, let me put this, 752, yeah, $752 million in revenue. Okay. Their payroll plus the tax is $549 million. 73% of their revenue of the payroll is compared to revenue. Okay. They pay 73% of payroll out of that $752 million. Okay. So they have money to spend if you're looking at it. Okay. The Mets are on top. They didn't have, quote, a lot of money to spend, but Cohen, this was as of 2024. Wasn't this this was 2024 revenue, 2025 payroll and tax. The Mets had $444 million of revenue. That's not a lot. And their payroll plus the tax for 2025 is $400 million. So they're paying 90% bracket. The Phillies are fourth on the list. They brought in terms of payroll to revenue, $519 million. Their payroll plus the payroll tax, luxury tax, $349 million. So they only had spent 67% of the revenue on payroll. So are they spending what they should? That's the question to ask.
I have no issue with the amount of money that the Phillies spend. They are consistently in the top 5 for these past few years. Mm-hmm. And fans are always going to say, we need to spend more money. The easiest thing in life is to spend other people's money. That is, you can spend other people's money day and night.
True.
John Middleton has spent enough money. Here's my issue with it. It doesn't seem like he's spending enough because they don't have the talent coming up through the system. So every position, you need to go out and get a $200-300 million free agent. If you had the talent coming in, that's not only younger talent, you're getting the prime productivity before their payday. You're staying younger, you're healthier, you have more of a future, and you have more flexibility. So when you do have those holes that pop up, then you can go and make that big splash instead of, we need a guy here, we need a guy there. We got to go to free agency because we don't have the prospects to trade. We don't have the prospects coming up. If you look at this farm system, and it's a little bit better than what Dombrowski inherited, because let's face it, McPhail and Klentak left this organization, at least the farm system, in a state comparable to Chernobyl. It was that bad. Yeah. So they've made improvements, but the results really aren't there. They're still, depending on where you look, 20th, 22nd, nowhere near good enough.
No.
In this division, since the Phillies brought up Ryan Howard, which was over 20 years ago, believe it or not. Yeah. I know, it seems like yesterday. Yeah. But look around. The Marlins brought up Giancarlo Stanton. The Braves brought up Freeman and Acuna and Riley. The Mets brought in Alonso. The Nationals developed Harper and Soto. What bats have the Phillies produced since Ryan Howard? Alec Boehm, Rhys Hoskins? Nice players, but if that's the cream of your crop in 2 decades, that's a serious problem.
Yeah, and it's one thing I'd love to ask somebody in the know. They gotta. Yes, I agree with you. I mean, you've got Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, maybe Andrew Painter, maybe Gabriel Rincones, maybe. I mean, I heard some good things about him. A couple of other young kids. But until we hear how they're in the top 100 at least, or it'd be nice to get them to the top 50, and maybe that happens. But historically, Ray, you're right. The past years, They haven't developed. And that's an issue with the scouting department. Am I right that they did change the scouting director a couple 3 years ago?
Oh,
Remember
they
that?
did. They did a complete overhaul. They
Yeah,
brought in Brian Barber, and around the same time they brought in Preston Mattingly. It
yeah,
seemed that Dombrowski, even though he came from Boston, wanted to bring in a whole bunch of Yankee guys, and I'm fine with that because the Yankees are a winning organization. And what I didn't like about Matt Klentak was he seemed to want to bring in people from the Mariners and Orioles, two teams that were losing a lot.
yeah,
Why do you poach a losing team? You try to poach the winning teams. But even now, I'm looking at what Brian Barber has done. It's been a while now, and I need to start seeing results now.
yeah. It's unfortunate that they haven't. There is another the thing is with that. Yes, that's true, and going along with that, the depth in the organization. I mean, listen, one of these guys in the outfield goes down. I mean, you don't have much to replace, and that is a big issue. Somebody reported I don't remember his name. I really never heard him before. He was predicting a trade. What the hell was it? I forget what it was now. That Bohm would leave. Oh, Bohm would leave. Aiden Miller would come up. They would trade Bohm. Aiden Miller would come up.
I think that was Eric Carabell. I think I saw that today.
And Aiden Miller would be the rookie of the year. Who knows? I mean, I know we know that Bohm is sensitive, and here's the other issue when we talk about the mentality when they're hitting in the postseason. These guys, Bohm, with I want to get out of this place. I forgot the F word.
Everybody else remembers it, but
Kirkering with his big faux pas. These guys have got to learn how to play with pressure. I wonder how Alonso's going to play. Can he get any better in Baltimore? There's not much pressure playing over there, right? I predict he's going to have a huge season. Let's see who else went to Baltimore? I just read it, I forgot. Helsley, could he get fixed? Because he's been horrendous for a couple of years.
Can't be any worse than he was when he went to the Mets. Not that I'm complaining about that, but he was horrible.
Which is great because initially we were thinking, okay, let's get him. No, after what he blew up in St. Louis, even after he healed from being hurt. Sorry, we don't want you. I think that I'm hoping, and I'm thinking, and I don't have for the Mets fans, I don't have confidence in that one Devin Williams. He hasn't been very good, and they're going to be in shock when he stinks. Anyway, going back,
he failed in New York last year, so that really confused me when I saw the Mets do that because you had a guy who did so well in Milwaukee, and I understand now there's that whole Stearns connection, but he went to New York and he fell on his face. And there could be other issues that are always involved. Was there a nagging injury? Did a pitching coach try to tweak things? But at the end of the day, lots of times you're seeing people who they had success in a Midwestern market, but then they go to New York and it all falls apart.
Yes.
And the Phillies and the Yankees, Mets, Red Sox have to look at those things when they are acquiring new players. And that's a disadvantage for these four teams that the Cardinals or the Padres don't have to deal with.
You're right. I think it's absolutely true. They have to learn how to deal with pressure. And Bohm has shown us that he hasn't. Kirkering last year showed us he couldn't. He needs to be put in low leverage situations to start the season for sure. A couple other things about we haven't talked about the bullpen yet. Listen, gotta love Duran, Alvarado, and Keller, right? You got a lefty setup man and a righty setup man. If Alvarado can come back and throw strikes, we know that is his issue. I think he'll be great because he has that off-speed slider that players can't hit. My issue with Duran, stop just throwing your 101-mile fastball. Stop it. Unless you're going to have movement on it and make it go down, players are going to hit it. You can't throw the fastball up here. That's what screwed him up last year. And after his first 4 games, great. But then, balls were flying out of the park and going into the gap because he wasn't giving up. He wasn't throwing anything off speed. So he's got to learn to throw that pitch, his off speed pitch, out of the strike zone. They're going to chase. They have to. There's no other. Why throw that fastball pitch after pitch after pitch and give these? Because you and I both know, everybody knows, major league hitters can time it up.
Well, most of them. I've seen some Phillies that would be able to hit.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. You do have to mix things up, and it seems that these past few years, I don't want to keep on harping on analytics, but I don't know if it's an analytical input that's making people think that you have to throw 101 miles an hour on every pitch, and it's that whole max effort thing. Sometimes pitching is a thinking man's game, and sometimes it's, can I outsmart the hitter, not just throw it past them.
And I think part of that's on JT and the pitching coach. I mean, and setting up your game plan for these guys. I mean, when guys are fishing, and if especially with Duran, yeah, okay, go ahead and throw your 102, and then throw him a 91 slider on the outside, or throw him a fastball out of the strike zone up here. Don't throw it in the middle of the plate at shoulder level. You're going to get hit.
Opposing pitchers do that to the Phillies all the time.
I know. And, and that's true. But yeah, everybody's got to figure out how to, the bullpen's got to figure out how to pitch better in in those key situations, especially Duran. Starting pitching, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the beginning of the season. I don't like Walker. I don't like Nola. Walker did pretty good for his last season. He wasn't worse than the season before. He was better in terms of innings and making good pitches when he needed to, a little bit more than half the time. Nola, to me, Ray, is the biggest head case on that team. When things start to go south, his brain just goes, and he's not into it. I look at his mannerisms and his body language when it's going bad. It's terrible, and things blow up.
Now, see, I'm in the minority in Philadelphia. I'm actually not one of the anti-Nola people, probably because when I watch him, he's sort of an old school pitcher, and I kind of miss those type of pitchers that everything didn't have to be 98 miles an hour, where instead of being a thrower, let me try to, paint the corners a little bit, and let me try to, outsmart the hitter sometimes. And I think that type of style pitching is going to suit him coming back from these injuries, because that's the problem when you have a guy who's just a fireballer. And right. Nola's getting to a point now, he's in his 30s, and we saw for the first time last year that he broke down physically. If he was a 98 mile an hour max effort guy on every pitch, then I would worry if he would ever be able to come back. But because he's more of a pitcher than a thrower, I have a little bit more confidence that he can come back and still be a viable pitcher. This guy has been extremely durable up until last year. He has been able to strike a lot of hitters out, keep them off base, good control, and that has been a stabilizing force in that rotation. Honestly, I'm more concerned with Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
Just because this is not an injury like, he had, some – strain in his elbow. Not that that's minor, but when you're dealing with blood clots and going on these blood thinners, that really weakens you. I was covering the Flyers when Kimo Timonen had blood clots, and he had to go on blood thinners. He was never the same, and he was around the same age that Zach Wheeler is. So is Wheeler going to come back late April, early May? Probably. I doubt it's going to be the same Zach Wheeler. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. I hope that I am 100% wrong, and he comes out and throws 8 innings his first. Well, they're not going to let him, but who am I kidding? Pitch counts. But yeah. I hope that he's the old Zach Wheeler. I just can't put money on it. No. Now, the ones you're confident in this rotation are Sanchez and Luzardo. Those, I think, are the guys that you can just put them out there every 5th day and not worry. But that's 2 out of your rotation. Everybody else is a question mark.
Yeah. And that is the scary part. Yeah, we just don't know what we're going to get out of Zach. I mean, we hear he's been throwing, which is great. I think we'll hear more starting next week when they all supposed to report. I'm sure most of them are there now already, and that's something we'll have to take a look at pretty much day to day. And I know these guys, the Zaleckis and the Jim Salisbury's, are going to be looking at that from day one down there. So yeah, hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be a successful spring training for him, and yeah, I'd be happy, like you said, if we get the old Zach back by May 1st, right? Even if he's 90% and he's able to throw, that's fine too. They don't. I'm saying what I'm saying is they're not going to throw him out there until he's 100%.
And Zach Wheeler at 90% is better than 90% of the pitchers in baseball.
Thank you. Yes. So yeah, the thing with Nola is, and yes, you're right. Look at Jamie Moyer, right? He knew how to pitch. Aaron Nola has those pitches. He's not hitting 90, not even 94 anymore. So it's for him, it's going to be all of that slow stuff, the 91, 92 mile an hour fastball, mixing it up with all of that, the sweepers and the curveballs, and
if you position him between pitchers that throw hard, and you put him in a 3-game series, and he's that middle guy, you're really throwing batters off balance,
right?
Because they had the heat the night before, and then you go to him throwing slower pitches, and then if you bring someone in with a higher fastball after him, so now you have the batters off balance, and it's little things like that sometimes that don't show up on an analytic spreadsheet.
Right. The old A word again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope he. I mean, the thing is, he's got to be pinpoint. That's what Jamie Moyer was when he was playing well for the Phillies. Aaron Nola was not last year, for the most part, and unfortunately, Knucklehead Thompson left him in too long, almost all the time. And that was where I was angry, and I don't like Thompson. He just left him in too long.
I guess part of it was thinking, well, he'll pitch his way out of it. He has in the past. Or the other thing is he's probably looking out to the bullpen saying, who do I bring in? Do I bring in Jordan Romano? I mean,
no. PTSD. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's one area where they are going to be better, even though I was extremely upset about the Matt Strahm trade. But having Duran Duran in the bullpen for the 9th inning makes them a lot better than where they were last year. But it's kind of balanced out by I don't know if the rotation is going to be as good.
Right. And you got Tanner. Listen, Tanner Banks surprised the heck out of me last year. Oh, my gosh. And you have Keller, who's got great numbers from last year. And you've got Alvarado, who we know can, throw his 98, 99, and he's got that slider, which gets these guys out, but he's got to throw strikes. That's the problem. Throw a first pitch strike, because we all know if you don't, and you're in the 8th inning and you're only up by a run or two, you do not want to let that first guy on base, because you know what? Whether they bunt or they steal, it's going to happen. And now you got, besides the tying run at home plate, you got the if you're up by 2. And the leadoff gets high, you're one on, nobody out, one in scoring position. There's no double play. So it's throw strikes. Just throw freaking strikes. That's all I want them to do is throw strikes when they come out there. Stop messing around and playing with stuff.
That's all you can ask for any relief pitcher.
I know.
Otherwise, we have Mitch Williams 2.0.
True. You don't want that. Ray, I'm going to rip some cards.
Okay.
Let's see what I get. I told people I'm never lucky. And I rarely am. So I will tell you, and I've shown this to other people. Hold on a minute while I get my my holy grail here. So almost 3 years ago here in Wilmington, I went to Walmart and I ended up getting a redemption card. The redemption card was this. Mike
Okay, so I
Schmidt.
see Schmidt and Harper.
Yeah,
Mm.
I freaked out. Of all redemption cards, I get Phillies. Are you kidding me?
Down in North Carolina.
Yeah, lucky me. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see if I get anybody. And I like to collect rookie cards because you never know where they're going to go. They'll be worth more, quote, if these guys end up coming up. Chase Petty from the Reds, a rookie card. Mark Church, rookie card. Never heard of him. Cade Gibson, who's supposed to be pretty good for the Marlins, but you never know. Manny Margot. Jose Fermin, Angels pitcher, rookie card. Chung Che Cheng for the Pirates, rookie card. A lot of rookies. David Morgan for the Padres, rookie. Drew Rasmussen. Adam Frazier. CJ Alexander, A's. Thomas Harrington, rookie card for the what am I looking at? Pirates. A lot of rookies in here. Brandon Young. I'm not showing you because I don't think you really care, but until I get somebody good. Yorbit Vivas for the Yankees, rookie card. Michael Soroka, old veteran. Victor Caratini, who I was hoping the Eagles.
Almost a Philly.
Yeah, exactly. He would have been okay. Moises Ballesteros, he's touted as one of the better Cubs as a rookie. Evan Phillips, Matt Shaw, another Cub.
For now.
Rookie.
Could be on the trading block.
Dylan Cruz, the Nationals. Carlos Santana.
Remember him.
Let's see. Phillies, 2018. He played 101 games. He batted, 229. I remember that.
Batted 229 and smashed the TV.
Yes, he did. That's right.
And you know something? I earned a lot of respect for him when he did that.
Well, he was. You know what? That's fine. Do it.
No, that showed that he actually cared about
Yes.
winning. Everybody else was more interested in playing Call of Duty or whatever game they were playing in the back room. And he's like, no, wait a minute.
What are you doing?
We're here to win games.
Yeah. Chad Patrick for the Brewers, a rookie card. Hayden Birdsong, rookie for the Giants. No stars yet. No real biggies. Curtis Mead. Ryan Gusto.
Former Philly farmhand Curtis Mead.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
I think memory serves me correct. I think he was the one that went to Tampa in the Sanchez trade.
Let me look. Durham, Montgomery, Durham.
For
Charleston. I don't. Oh, yeah. There he is. Gulf Coast League. Phillies, West and East. Yeah. You're a smart man, dude. You got a good memory. Zach Veen, rookie. I got an Ichiro, most valuable player. Can't throw away an Ichiro.
Oh, absolutely
Spencer
not.
Torkelson. These are the stars of the MLB. Matt Chapman. See, I told you I never get lucky. I don't get any autos. I don't get any relics. Tommy Pham. Whoopee. Fernando Tatis.
The Phillies, I think, are the only team that Pham hasn't played for.
I think so. Another rookie card. Nathan Wiles. Mark Leiter Jr. Drake Baldwin for the Braves. Good player on their radar for sure. If he's not playing already, he's going to be in the lineup. Kevin Alcantara for the Cubs, rookie. Man, this was another bust of a Brad Lord, rookie, and Gabriel Arias for the Cleveland Guardians. Well, that was not a great, exciting pack. Okay, sorry, whatever. Only so much luck I have, and I don't have that much. All right, Ray. I'm going to give clues, folks, as to who my guest is going to be in 1, 2, 3 weeks. Let's see. Let me see. His wife's name is Janet. He got a full track scholarship at St. Joe's. He earned varsity letters in football, basketball, and track in his senior year in high school. but track was the sport he excelled in as a pole vaulter, and it got him a full ride to St. Joe's. He graduated St. Joe's in
Okay, I think I know who
1968.
this is, but go ahead.
Okay, he started working on his master's degree at Westchester State University in secondary counseling, and he retired after a career in education. Football was his love. He had to run out the Olympic trials in the decathlon and got a year and a half in World Football League. He had a tryout for the Philadelphia Eagles and made the team.
And I think Mark Wahlberg played him in a movie.
And what's his name?
Sounds to me like you're talking about Vince Papale.
Vince Papale. That is it. Vince Papale will be joining us on February 25th, folks. Thank goodness for social media and actually email. I emailed him and he's like, and the funny thing was he responded and I never got a response. I reached back out to him again. It went to my spam folder. I was like, oh my God. So I emailed him back. I said, sorry, it took so long. Let's set it up if you can. Okay, boom, boom, boom. He's coming on February 25th.
I remember years ago when I was in radio, I ended up doing some things with the producers of the Eagle documentary, Green Fans. And I remember them telling me how anytime they asked Vince for help with anything, that he was always more than willing and very helpful to anything they needed help with to try to get that documentary produced. And I know those guys worked very hard on it, and Vince was a great help to them.
Yeah, he seems like a very nice guy. I mean, again, everybody loves him. He had colon cancer, got through that, so he's a cancer survivor and raises money for colon cancer research. And I'm going to reach out to people beginning tomorrow. If you have any questions for Vince, send them to me. I'll probably give people my email. It's been the easiest. Send me questions because I love to be able to have people participate and talk and ask what they want to ask him. Pretty remarkable, you know. Do you think that could happen today?
Having a tryout,
Or he didn't go to college to play football, right? So guys from high school, can they go right to the NFL?
No.
College age, he went to college.
You can see that in other sports, but not in the NFL.
Yeah. So yeah, just again, the movie was great. I'm gonna watch it again before I get him back on. So it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk to him. So way to go on the reveal, Ray. You shocked the world there, buddy.
Yeah. I've just seen Invincible a lot of times. Very
yeah,
movie.
You knew. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, he didn't score a touchdown, and the movie's, Disney, take a little bit of leeway with that kind of stuff.
And he was actually from Delco.
Yeah, yeah.
They wanted it to be sort of like Rocky, so they made him into a South Philly guy.
Yes, absolutely. And there's friends at the bar and playing touch football with him in a touch league. So that was, listen, I love the movie. I don't think anybody who watched it didn't love the movie. I don't care if you're an Eagles fan or not. It's just one of those inspirational stories that, dream come true stuff. And it's true. It came true.
In addition to Mark Wahlberg, who I thought was really good in that movie, how good was Greg Kinnear?
Oh, yeah.
Nick Vermeil.
Oh, absolutely. Terrific. Just, yeah. He
just his mannerisms. He got everything down perfect.
He did. So that was also again, the whole movie there. Everybody, the cast, they did a great job with it. So we'll ask him about the movie. We'll ask him about other things that people want to ask him for sure. So
I'll be tuning in. I know that.
Thank you. That's great. So it'll be fun. Hey, Ray, thanks for coming on, my friend.
My pleasure. Mitch, thank you for having me.
Hey,
really enjoyed it.
Great to have you. Your knowledge is terrific, and really appreciate you coming on, and we'll be in touch again. I'm sure during the season. Why not, right?
Absolutely. I'm sure that there's going to be things that come up during the season that are going to warrant some discussion. Because, it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and it's going to be me, Rob Thompson, for sure. Number one's going to be That's Mine.
My direction might be more toward Dombrowski, so we'll go at it
Well,
from different
that's
angles.
yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, Ray. Have a good evening. Thanks again for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks again, Mitch.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Thank you to Ray for coming on. Some really good Phillies talk. Lots of different things we covered. I'll repost this interview probably tomorrow. Yes, the guest in 3 weeks on February 25th, the one and only Vince Papale. So we'll look forward to having him on. Next week, we're going to have in honor of Black History Month, former Negro Leagues player, Mr. Sam Allen will be joining us. So I'll be tweeting that out, putting a message on Instagram and Facebook, all social media, get people to talk to Sam about his experience in Negro Leagues, what it's been like the last several years, I would say 8 to 10, where people have become more aware of the Negro Leagues and how important it was to the game of baseball and the history of America. So we'll get Sam on. We'll talk to him about that. And will be no show on the 18th. I'll be going up to Pennsylvania to celebrate my granddaughter's 2nd birthday. Can't wait for that. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Let folks know again, Vince Papale, February 25th on this same channel, Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. Appreciate you being here. And Lou and I will be back next week with some more talk, Super Bowl talk about the game a little bit, and the beginning of pitchers and catchers. We'll have some baseball talk, but mostly talk to Sam Allen, former Negro Leagues player. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for coming into my space, my cave, and appreciate you being here. Everybody take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.